Are you real or not? How can you prove that you are real? Well, this is an interesting question that many people regard as a catchy question, or what they would call a question that they can trap anyone in. See, a lot of people end up trapping themselves in this illusion that whatever they know is the ultimate that there can be. A lot of people live their life unconsciously, and when you live life unconsciously, you're only gonna remember just bits and fragments of it. You live and go to school not because you want or because you like it. You go there because you have to. You work a stupid job only because you have to work for the money, not because you may actually like your job. Because when you work for a hobby, when you work for even a job that you like, you're going to remember a lot more details. When you are with people whom you don't like, you're not going to remember probably even their names or their faces. You're probably not even going to remember anything they say. But when you're with some people whom you like, you're going to remember probably even whatever words they speak, or even, moments when they were nonsensical, or, things like that. Because the power of emotion is, well, not that, how to put it? The idea of emotion is what dictates how much you live your life or not. See, a lot of people are trapped in this woke culture stuff that, the whole world is an illusion. See, Maya, or the illusion, does not refer to the world or the cosmos as being an illusion. It appears as an illusion because our five bodily senses cannot perceive it, cannot grasp it in its entirety. Because even science says our eyes can only perceive 0.035% of the visual light spectrum. When we think a bit about things, we're pretty blind to the cosmos, but a lot of dum-dums are 100% sure that everything they know is everything there is and everything they see is everything there is, right? If your senses cannot grasp something, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. The point about life is people do not have any sensation about life because they live in abusive environments, toxic people everywhere, and they simply distance themselves from their emotions. But whether you're being on your deathbed, let's say, and you're 95 years of age and you don't remember anything, if you ask your cells in your body, they remember each and every second of your life, right? Each and every second, each and every cell of your body remembers that. They say when you die, your brain spends some time afterwards still sorting and sifting through some of your final memories. And some people, before they die, they experience some memories as well. If we are to think a bit about this, the depths of your existence is all engraved into your own cells, into your own body, into the memory of this body, into the water of your body, into every bit, nook, and cranny of your body. But most people are not capable of such sensitivity because they run away from their emotions as if emotions would be something bad, right? The more in tune you become with your intuition, the more in tune we become with our bodies, the more in tune you become with food and everything, the more you distance yourself from the constant lies that life is like this, life is like that, and you must follow everyone else's norms, opinions, and points of view as if only they matter, only they exist, but you do not. Well, ask yourself the question, do they exist? Because you're struggling, you're doing whatever you can, you're probably even a people pleaser, most likely. But those people don't seem to actually exist. You help them, they don't say any thanks. You give them stuff, they are not responsible for anything. You do their stuff that they're not responsible for or they don't take accountability for. You do everything that you can for others, but when it comes to you, you barely do anything. So the question is, are they also alive? Because it feels like you're helping zombies. You feel like you're trying to, keep alive some people who want to get into their graves. There was an interesting quote, a very wise one, that said a lot of people usually die by the age of 20, although they get buried by the age of 60, 70, or probably even beyond. Because when people give up their dreams, obviously they give up their inner child, their curiosity, their innocence, and obviously, of course, most importantly, their emotions. When they live outside of emotions, everything becomes cerebral, everything becomes obsessive with the mind because the mind has a certain bandwidth. and can be used in all sorts of ways, shapes, or forms. And when it ends up as your distraction, it also ends up as a very likable distraction. And that is a big problem because it can easily trap people into it. It's like using AI and things like that, tools that are very advanced and they can provide you all sorts of things. It can be funny or interesting or even engaging to simply constantly imagine all sorts of possible outcomes that will probably never happen, or conversations that will never happen or will most likely not go that way, right? And the point about life is very simple. When one becomes sufficiently capable that they are in tune with their body, they are paying more attention to gratitude and the calmness that it provides rather than the theater that you have to play so that you please some fuckers that don't give a shit about you. The point is, if they don't care about you, why would you care about them? Unless you're in one of those sad situations when you can't simply leave them behind because you're still dependent on them. Maybe because they're your superior at office or, well, at work, in life, family, whatever else. So, in most situations, when people become capable of being united with their body, perceiving their body beyond just the five senses, when they can feel the depths of their emotion, and they become more and more connected with their body, they ground themselves, they step with bare feet on soil, and they ground themselves. When you can hear your body talk to you and your cells communicating with you, you have access to some of their memory. If you become capable of observing how much memory each of your cells, your whole body has, and the memory that is regarding you, but beyond this physical body, only then can you actually comprehend life, and can you actually comprehend how alive you are. Because all the people in the world seem oblivious to the fact that they have energy each and every day, right? Successful people, and they have the same amount of energy each and every day. Maybe some are more energetic, yes, but the most important resource is also time, which we all have the same amount each and every day. How we make use of it and what we make use of it through, well, that is something completely different. But when it comes to energy, we have more or less energy. Obviously, we don't have the same levels, but depending on how lethargic your body is, you will have more or less energy. But how you make use of your energy, how you make use of your time, and how open you are to the journey of the things that you do in life, that is how much you will cherish life and how much you will remember. Because a lot of people just want the quick race, they just want to be at the finish line. They're not interested in the whole journey. Because you're not going to achieve most of the things in your life in an instant. You're going to have to journey around, maybe through other countries. Maybe they're going to be a journey of introspection. Maybe they're going to be a psychological journey or a combination of these. If you enjoy the moments, right, that you spend doing that, if you enjoy the moments that you are with the people around you, even if there are some primitives, well, that is a way to live life instead of just living like a robot. Because if you live like a robot and you have no emotional attachment or only bad attachments, bad emotional attachments to such events, well, those events, the brain, the mind, the conscious mind will not be interested in keeping. Yes, it will not keep account of it. Because think about that. How many things do you see each and every day? How many things do you hear each and every day? When you go to sleep at night, how many things do you remember? A lot of people spend even 5, 6, 7 hours per day, scrolling through stuff on their phone, right? How much of that do you think they remember at the end of the day when they go to sleep, or next day if they go to sleep in the morning, right? But each and every cell and your subconscious mind will remember those perfectly. Yes, I assure you of that. Through certain kinds of meditation, through certain kinds of regressive meditation or whatever it is called, you can be sent to a certain moment of your time in your subconscious mind, and you can actually remember vividly all the details that you've seen, you've heard, and you can actually replicate any quote that you have heard with the right tonality. Yes, these go beyond imagination because imagination also plays with memories. The more unconscious the memories, the more the mind is free to play with those. Because when you have a conscious experience of something, that is something the mind will not be able to toy with too much because it is vividly imprinted into your own body. If certain memories do not suit you and your emotions, or they are rendered as a danger towards your personal, like, your persona, to your societal survival, and to the survival of your physical body, they will be discarded or changed. So hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness. You are appreciated, take care, enjoy life, and this being said, Ferenc Jan Bohr signing out.